Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Floating Thoughts. If you're new here, my name is Lally. If you're not new here, welcome back. I was not here last week because honestly, I was just so tired. So I decided to take last week off and I didn't post anything. But this week, we have a very, very special guest. This is also episode 20 of this season. So it's going to be the last episode of season 2. So I am so excited to have this guest on here. I'm going to let her introduce herself here in a little bit. I think this is going to be our longest conversation I think we probably had. But I know that it's going to be a really, really good conversation. So I'm so excited for you guys to meet her. So without further ado, this is Janesia. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I think we've known each other, I would say 3 years, right?
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
But she is, if she says, okay, disclaimer, I call Kitty Kenny and she calls him Darian's.
Yeah.
It's the same person.
Yes.
Just different names, just to put that out there. But basically, she is Kenny's sister-in-law. So that's how we know each other.
Yes.
And she's dating Kenny's brother. How long have you guys been dating?
Oh my God, it's been 14 years we've been dating. 14 years.
I guessed 11, so okay. 14. Yeah. I was gonna say, it's so crazy because I don't know if I was telling Kenny the other day that you are to me, you are the ultimate sister, you know what I mean? I feel like you've been there because I've been dating for such a long time. So I was telling him, I was like, I don't even think I was nervous to meet your family. I think I was nervous to meet Janesia because I feel like you have he has mainly brothers.
Yeah.
But I think it's you've been there such a long time that I was like,
true.
I don't really care about that. Let me even try to see what impression I make on her. So, but I'm so excited to have you on here because I think we haven't really had
one-on-one conversations.
Yeah.
No, we're always in a group setting with their family getting together, but it's never been just me and you have a conversation.
Yeah. So this is kind of the first time exclusive.
That's crazy.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Janesia, who you are now, what you do, and then who you were growing up.
So now I'm 31, but for what I do for work, I work at an elementary school. I'm a site coordinator of an after-school program, so I'm a supervisor of an after-school program. And that's kind of what I do. I work with kids Monday through Friday, after school hours, so typically I get off around 6:30 at night. But that's really what I do. And then so what I growing up?
Yeah, who you were. I guess how you describe yourself now, what is the difference of who you were as a child?
Oh, well, yeah. I would say growing up, I'm the oldest out of, on my dad's side, it's 5 of us. Okay. And then with my mom, it was always just me and my brother. But I'm the oldest on both sides. I think that being the oldest has a lot of different responsibilities. And so I've always been responsible.
Yeah.
I've always kind of been that person that's everybody else's person to go to because I am the oldest out of everybody. So I think that I grew up really responsible. But I think too that I really haven't, being so responsible for everybody else, it takes you out of not being able to be responsible for yourself and worry about yourself first. Yeah. So I think as I'm getting older, I realize that I have to take priority on myself.
So it's crazy that you said, because I was asking Kenny, I was like, Janesia gives me such older sister vibes. Yeah. So it's crazy that you just say you were the older sister.
Everyone says
really? I just feel it. I don't know. And I was like, I don't know if she is, but I'm gonna say she is because I feel like you just give off that energy, which is not. It's a good type of energy. Yeah. And also a little before you said something, and I was thinking about how my first impression of you was you were, well, not that you were really pretty, but you are very thank you. I thought you were not, when I say intimidating, I don't say it in a bad connotation. I say it in a good way. I feel because you just have a very strong energy, but I was like, I don't know, it was just like big sister energy.
Yeah.
And I think I was telling him, I was like, I feel like you are very guarded. Are you?
I'm 1000% guarded. Yeah.
I feel like it just takes like, which is a good thing, because I feel like you know how to pick the people that you want in your circle or who you want to surround yourself by. But I think that it's mainly perceived when in an like older sister setting.
Absolutely. I think that dang, you really described me really good. And it's crazy because I'm like, we never really talk like that. I'm like, how you know that? But truly, I am. I feel that my strong energy, sometimes people take it negatively, but it's not meant to be like negative or anything like that. It's like, some people may think that I'm guarded or I'm like being like stuck up or that I don't want to talk to you, but it truly is, I'm just naturally reserved. I'm like the definition of a introvert. Yeah. Like literally, I'm like, really? Yes, I'm not a
I don't think you're, well, I didn't think you were introverted. This mic just wants to do its own thing. So don't pay no mind. But
it's our third guest.
Literally. I didn't think you were introverted. I think it's crazy how we perceive ourselves versus vice versa, because I thought like, yes, you gave guarded vibes and stuff like that, but introverted was not there. I thought you were very high on energy, but not like crazy, like, you know what I mean? Like just kind of vibey. Well, no, that kind of makes sense, because I feel like Marty's chill too. So I think that's why you guys.
I think I'm even more chiller than him. Like I think that for me, it's okay. I think it's like when I meet people, like I don't want to be. I'm not like on purpose trying to be guarded, especially when we meet in like a family setting. Yeah. If Darren is bringing you, I'm like, okay, this is family, so of course I'm going to be a lot more warmer to you than if you were like just somebody random. Yeah, somebody random, but. Yeah, that's really crazy that you picked up on that.
No, I think it's like, that's why I was like, at first I was like, I don't know if it's because they've been together for a long time, so it's kind of like, you just know, but also it's like an observer. Like, I think it's just kind of like, because I think I'm an observer. Like, I know that if I'm around a group setting, it's not same thing. Like, I don't want to be quiet, but I also know where to stay in my, like, on my own lane. Yeah. So I feel like, I'm like, well, I don't think I'll mesh well with these, so I'm not even gonna put myself in there. It's just not gonna happen. I told her to describe herself, and I'm over here describing you. Like, this is what I think she's like.
You're right. You're not gonna work something else.
But no, I'm glad I got some of this stuff right. And I'm glad you guys got to know her here a little bit. She said before this, she was saying how she had watched the episodes before.
A lot of episodes.
So she knows what's coming, which is a good thing. So we're gonna kind of get started with our little box and just roll with the episode. So I'm gonna mix them up for her. And then you're just going to pick one. I wrote some of them, so if you don't understand, just let me know.
No worries. Okay. How would you define happiness? And have you found it? Who put this in there? How would I define happiness? I think it's internal. I think that you cannot place your happiness in anything external at all. Being happy within yourself and being happy with where you are, even if it's not the place where you want to go, but being okay and happy with the place that you are, know that you're where you're supposed to be, you're operating, in your best self. I think like that is true happiness. Is really kind of being content with things and not necessarily settling, but being content where you are. I think that's happiness. It's very internal. You can't place it on anything external, or it's fleeting. Yeah. If I'm happy because I got a new apartment, well, it's only going to be new for so long. So I think that's what happiness is. And have I found it? I don't think it's like a true full destination. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's like happiness. Here it is. I have it. I'm going to keep it. Yeah. I think it's like, it's fleeting. It is fleeting, but I think that I'm on my journey to finding it. Okay. As far as like being content with things that are in my life and being content with where I am. Like, I'm still searching for it completely.
I agree. I think whenever you say like, well, I agree heavily on you saying that you don't think it's like you stop there and then it's kind of like, okay, what's next in the agenda? I found happiness, now let's go find something else. But do you think compared to like you growing up, do you feel like you would tell like your younger self now that it's kind of like, okay, I think it's like the next level to happiness that I have found?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think that when I was younger, everybody had like different childhoods growing up. Like my childhood wasn't like super, super great or super, super bad either. But I think that as a child, like I was always looking for like the next thing. Like, okay, I can't wait till this happens and then I'll be good. Or I can't wait till that happens and then I'll be good. And my younger self would definitely be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna find it. And once I have it, and not realizing that it's so much deeper than that when you have to look inside to find that type of happiness. And I don't think I had like the wherewithal to think like it's within me.
Right.
You know? Yeah, my younger self would not say what I just said.
Really?
She would be trying to say, I'm going to catch it, and I'm not going to let it go. I'm going to keep happiness. But,
yeah.
Is
it, I know, you mentioned like how you are, it's kind of like elementary teacher. Did you take that role from, like, kind of, how did you know that you were going to become an elementary teacher, I guess I would say?
I did not.
You didn't?
No. I actually started at the district that I'm in working in the high school.
Okay.
And then a position became available at the elementary school, and I was like, oh yeah. And honestly, it's nothing like I thought it was gonna be. Like I didn't think I was gonna be as attached to those kids as I am now.
My gosh.
I did not think that I was gonna be forming so many relationships with the kids and their families. Like parents who text me now, like it's a Saturday or Sunday, like they're texting me because they know that I care for their kids. I didn't think that I would be so deep involved into it like that. I really didn't. I was like, oh good, like a pay raise, cool.
Let's do it.
Cool. And that was like I started doing that 5 years ago. But like now it's like, oh dang, yeah, it's actually really deep in there.
That's crazy. And part of you, since you were the older sister, you never like, what did you originally want it to be?
What I originally wanted to be, we all go through like, I want to be an doctor. But I originally wanted to be an architect.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed drawing when I was younger, and dang, that's crazy too. I'm thinking about that. Like I did want to be an architect. I like drawing, and like that was I was more creative when I was younger. I kind of feel like I'm not as creative anymore, or like I'm trying to tap back into that innocence of creating. But yeah, back then that's what I wanted to be, an architect, and then then I realized how much school they got to go to. And I was like, nah,
it's okay.
It's too tiguous. It's like you have to it's like every measurement has to be perfect. And it's like super tedious for me.
Oh my gosh. I guess I'm asking because I know you say you're elementary teachers now. You wanted to be an architect. At any point, like, when was it that you realized that, like, is it that school that you were like, I'm just going to go?
No, I think it was really the tediousness of it. Okay. Like, truly having to be like, because you're building a building. So the measurements have to be exact or it will collapse. And that would be not good. So, yeah, I think having to know how tedious it is, and, like, it wasn't like what I thought, like it was going to be like as more of free creating, you know, like being able to be creative. Yes, it is part that, but it is like obviously super structured to do something like that. Okay.
And I'm trying to get my question here. It's brewing, but is it because also, so whenever I know you're the oldest, so how does that intertwine, I guess, with you also teaching? Like, was there ever that you felt like it was kind of the same thing, like that you did not want to do teaching because it was like you also took care of your siblings? You know what I mean?
I heard you say, yeah. But no, I think like as I get older and I come into me being a woman, I realized that the power that we do have is nurturing. Yeah. Like we are naturally that. So I didn't think of it like, oh, like I'm, it's going to be like with my siblings, because that was different because I still was a kid trying to teach other kids. It's like, come on. But now as I'm getting older and I'm growing into my womanhood, I realize that nurturing is our power. Like, so being able to do it with the kids, it's even different because then a lot of kids are like, oh my God, you look like my mom. Like, you're like my school mom. And I'm like, dang, no. But it's kind of the same thing, but like having that nurturing thing to go on with the school. That's kind of how it is for me. Not really like siblings.
Yeah.
Because then, like, you know, like, it's also not as much, like, pressure because, like, I want to do this versus when I was a kid, like, I would have to do it. But, of course, you want to take care of your siblings and stuff. But it's like...
But you're also a kid. So
yeah, I'm also a kid. Like, I want to be a kid, too. Like, I want to be able to... If I do something, I want to be able to blame it on somebody. Or, you know, like, oh, well, she wasn't watching this or she wasn't doing that.
So
I want to be able to... I want to be able to do that, too, but I wasn't able to do that.
Do you feel like... Did you ever feel that, I guess in a way, I'm the youngest, so I don't think I have to put myself in like the oldest, I guess, mentality, but in a way did it ever feel draining to you?
Absolutely. Yeah. It really did. And I think that it kind of made me, as I was getting like into like my early 20s, a little resentful and making me even like unintentionally, and not until like now that I realize it, like kind of separate myself from my siblings as much as like we normally would normally interact, like trying to be on my own and be separated from them and find myself without having to still be looming over them and making sure that they're good. Yeah. So yeah, definitely when I was in my early 20s, I was resentful of it. I'm not gonna lie.
Do you have a close relationship with your siblings?
Oh, yes. Now, now that we're all adults.
Oh, okay. Now you're all understanding.
Now we're all adults. Okay. I mean, we've always had like especially me and my brother, because it was always only me and my brother. Like I would see my sisters too, but like mostly it was me and my brother because we were in the same household.
So you spent more time with your brother than you did with your sisters?
Absolutely.
Okay. And then when you were over there, you kind of
it was still the same thing. Yeah, it was still the same thing.
Oh my God. And I guess also like dynamically, like with your family, were your parents kind of is an expectation for you, or were they also allowing you to be a child?
Definitely was an expectation for me. I remember when I told them that I wasn't going to school, like I was dropping out of school. It wasn't good. Like my grandma was like really disappointed. My mom was really disappointed. And I did have for a while, I had like this thing in me wanting to make them proud. Like wanting to do things to make them proud and not really being able to understand like it's my life. You know, like, and if it is a mistake, then I can make it. And I don't need to be under the pressure, like, to not make the mistakes. And I think growing up, I was, like, under pressure to, like, not make the mistakes. Although, of course, I still made them. But then even when I did, it was different versus if I made a mistake or my brother or my sisters made a mistake. It was, like, if my parents found out it was me, it was a lot harsher. Yeah. Versus then with them, it was, like, super smoothed over with them. And
I think I see that, too, because... Well, for me growing up, my mom was a single mom, but she didn't understand English. So it was 10 times, I guess, worse because, like, she understood what we were doing, but then she also had it, like, the light was pointing towards my sister. Like, were you understanding what you know what you're doing? And then, God forbid, you make a mistake. Yeah. Because it's kind of like, I can mold them, but I can only mold them so much because of the language barrier. So I think... When I talk to my sister, I think she has that issue, too, where sometimes she's like, well, there's certain things I didn't allow myself to do because I feel like, you know, you guys were looking up to me. Yeah. And now she's kind of doing them, but it's like she also has a mentality of like, oh, it's like at a later time. And I think it's like, I don't know, I feel like it sucks because you also have to understand, like, you're battling between, like, yes, I want good for my siblings, but also, like, I'm not their parent. Yeah. And you're also at a young age where it's hard to understand that, like, you can't raise them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Do you ever question, like, that you're looking after everybody and who takes care after you? Yeah.
Yeah. It is like that. Like how you say you perceive me as strong. That's where I hear that so much that people are like, oh, she's good. Yeah. You know, because I am so strong, but that's how I grew up. I do think that sometimes, like, you know, like, who can I call on? Like, I'm recently in therapy. And she was talking to me and she was like, you know, like, oh, that sounds good. Like, you talk to all these people, like, all the time. Like, I talk to my mom. I talk to people all the time. And she's like, okay, that's good. So who do you talk to, like, about your problems? And I'm like, what? She's like, what? But she's like, seriously, she's like, you say that you have these issues, but who is the community that you're building to be able to talk to about that? And I'm like, I'm a person that's like, I don't, what's the saying? Like, I carry my own cross. Like, I carry my own burdens. I don't like to burden people. But yeah, I do feel like that I don't really have a safe space to communicate how I'm feeling. Yeah. Or I feel as though, like, if I did, it's like, would it be received? Or would people be like, oh, it's okay. Like, you're strong. You'll get through it. And it's like, nah, like, I got moments where I want to be weak as well. Yeah. You know?
I think, do you sometimes, whenever you do share that, is it because they're not giving you a response that you feel like you would have given them, maybe?
Yes and no, because I never expect me out of people. Okay. Because I'm me. I think I used to, but like I said, as I'm growing, I feel as though like it's really not good to expect me from you because you're not me. But I think that what I want, because I don't want to say I have an expectation, but what I would like is just to simply be heard, or have people feel that they understand what I'm saying. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's a good point that you make, because I think I recently had this conversation. But sometimes people think that when you vent to them, they have to say something like, or they have to have some type of sympathy. And don't get me wrong, like, you should probably enter like a sympathetic mode, but sometimes it's exactly what you said. It's just listen to me. Yeah. You don't have to tell me you did wrong here. Yeah. You could do better. Because I think I already told myself that.
Yes, I know that. Yeah, it's like I don't need a solution.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need you to give me a solution. I really just need you to listen. And be there. And I think sometimes, like you said, a lot of people are like, okay, well, here's where you went wrong, and here's where you can go right. Yeah. Like, I already know that.
Exactly. You're like, okay,
I'm just trying
I feel better suddenly. Yeah, thank you.
Oh my God, you had the answer.
You helped me so much. Talk to you next time.
No, same. Yeah, I think that hits it right on here. It's like, I don't need a solution.
Yeah. And that's a really, really good point, because I feel like I can relate a lot to that. Whenever I feel some type of way about something, I feel like I automatically just talk to myself, because sometimes I don't really care for somebody else to tell me, like, okay, do A, then B, then C. It's like, no, I know that. Yeah. It's just that I don't want to hear that right now. And I'm not going to tell you also what to tell me. Yeah. But it's like, I'm just better off speaking to myself. Yeah, which sucks, because then it kind of, the cycle keeps repeating, because you're letting it bottle in and all that. Yeah. How long have you been in therapy?
For a year.
And then do you feel better, like, now that you are in therapy?
I do. Yeah. I do. I think that the therapist that I have is I haven't really been talking to her too much though. But no, it's just because I feel like though
her watching this, like,
this is why she hasn't rebooked. No, it wasn't her. It just kind of, I felt that our personalities and our like core values just didn't align. Okay. I think that at the beginning, like, she really did help me get through a lot of stuff, but I am looking for a new therapist. But I don't think that like our core values on things just aligned. As far as like, I am a spiritual person, and I feel like when I would bring up like spiritual aspects of me, like, it would not be understood from her, or she wouldn't be like
receiving
it, or, and I don't know, I just could feel that energy, because she wouldn't be like, oh, okay, it just didn't connect, and that's a big part of my life. So I feel like
you want someone that
I want someone that can align with that.
Was it difficult for you to start therapy, like, or were you going back and forth?
Yeah, at first I was like, okay, I'm gonna just try it. I think that it would be good. Because I am a person who lives in here. Like, I live in my head. And I was like, it would be good to talk to somebody, and just see, where I'm at. And the first one I went in, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna be real surface level, and I'm gonna be kind of guarded, just to feel her out before I start divulging. And I'm like 5 minutes in.
Vulnerable.
No, because listen, it was me. I was crying so hard on my first session, but that's when I was like, okay, like, I kind of do need this. I was like, because I didn't expect to be this emotional when I'm talking, this open, but she is good. She was good at that, like, bringing openness without prying, because I didn't want anybody like pry, like, okay, how does that make you feel?
Yeah.
And then it was like really organic and natural. She was good at that.
But and then did you have like how are your, I guess, growing up, were your parents against therapy ever?
Oh, yeah, we're Black. I'm pretty sure it's the same for like any ethnic family, but like, yeah, no, you don't talk about that stuff. Whatever happens in here stays in here. Mm-hmm. You don't talk about what's going on outside. And truly, I think too, I felt like I was kind of more guarded, like going to talk to that lady because of that, going to talk to my therapist because of that. And I think that a lot of times, growing up, I wasn't able to like express to my mom what was going on with me, because, or even like something that I disagree with her on, because it would be disrespectful. It wouldn't be, received as, it's like you're talking back to me, instead of like really just saying like, well, no, like that hurt me, or no, like that bothered me. And I think that therapy has helped me realize that it's like, that's why I kind of am sometimes very guarded. Like, because I'm used to not having a voice as a child. And as I get older, like, I definitely have that voice now.
And that's good, I think, because I feel like same thing, like whenever you said that it is like, the Hispanics have the same thing. My mom was very like, you're just bored, or clean the house.
I'm telling you.
This is the fifth time I clean the house and I'm still sad. Please. What? But I think it's like they did not understand therapy at all. Like, I think till this day, I feel like obviously they grew up in different times, so I also understand that. That I'm like, well, you're not, at that time you also didn't have anybody to talk to.
Yeah, true.
So it's like, it's up to us to kind of break those cycles. But I feel like it's still very much like shunned upon.
Yeah, it is.
You also feel like you have to have some type of, either you have to be dealing with depression, anxiety, or something to go to therapy. You don't feel like you can just go and talk, because that's weird. You know? I'm like, no, I need somebody to talk to.
No, yeah, I told my dad, I was like, he's like, who goes to therapy? And I was like, I go to therapy. He's like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, why's something got to be wrong with me? It's like, to go to therapy, and if it is something wrong with me, then obviously I'm taking a good path to go there, and something healthy to do. But it still like baffles his mind. He's like, you go to therapy, so you like pay somebody to like
talk about your problems?
What's wrong?
Talk to me. Yeah. No, I couldn't. That's why I'm in therapy.
I can't. That's why I'm in therapy.
No, and it's good that you're bringing that up too, because I feel like that's the reason why a lot of people also still to this day shy away from therapy, because they feel like it's it's just like, which it is a mental, like but it's like, they feel like if you need someone to talk to, oh, why don't you talk to people around you? Or there has to be something that you have already been diagnosed as to why you're going. Yeah. And it's kind of like you're making you feel worse, because now you feel like there's something wrong with you. You know what I mean?
No, it's like, honestly, if you want to work on your body, you go to the gym. If you broke a leg, you go to a doctor. If something's wrong with your eyes, you go to an eye doctor, a foot doctor. Okay, my brain, I need to get what's in here out. I need to have my mental healthy. So I need to go talk to somebody. And I think that we really need to think of it as like truly like how you go to the gym to keep your body healthy. I go to therapy to keep my mind healthy.
I love that. BetterHelp, if you're watching this, sponsor me.
I actually used to use them.
Really?
To find my therapist.
So you provide me a code.
Come on, let's do it.
Now we're gonna move to the questions. So we have 2 envelopes. I have 2 questions for you here. Your numbers are 14 and 16.
Oh, 16. January 16th is my birthday.
Let's go with the first one. What's one thing you're still struggling to forgive yourself for, and what's keeping you from letting go?
Ooh. What's one thing I'm struggling to forgive myself for? Dang. I never thought about that. Dang, I don't want to take too much time.
No, it's okay.
Oh, okay.
We'll speed it up.
Oh, okay. Struggling to forgive myself for. Dang, you got deep, girl. I would say I would say being a, how can I say? I would say like being a people pleaser in my early life, like earlier years. And no, what would I say? Or even probably I would say being fearful. I would say. Because there were a lot of things that when I was younger I wanted to do that fear stopped me from doing. And now that I'm older, I think like, dang, like I wasted so much time, and dang, maybe I'm not able to do it anymore because I wasted time. And I think like I'm really am getting to a point to where I have to be like, forgive myself from that and like say like the best time is now, you know? And I think that me being so fearful of like what people would think of me and what, you know, my family would think of me to stop me from doing things that I wanted to do, I think that is something that I'm still forgiving myself for.
That's a good response. That's a good response. I think, do you think it stems from something?
I don't know. Honestly, I can't really pinpoint it, but it probably definitely does. I think anything that we do in our lives, it comes from something. It comes from something in the past, conversations that we've had, or, you know, people that we've met, influences that we've had around us. I think everything does. That's what forms us into people. But I think that, yeah, something probably did happen to stop that. Yeah. But I can't really pinpoint it right now.
Because I feel like, for example, I don't know how it was like growing up with your parents, because I know, are they divorced?
They were never married.
Oh, they were not. Okay. No. Okay. For my parents, they got divorced when I was 9. So my dad was the strict one, but I think he was so strict that I feel like that's like what kind of traumatized me. So I think I relate to it, but every single time like that I would think of doing something like fun. Yeah. I would think of it as like, oh, my dad, like, would this be approved? Yeah. Like, and I think even when they got divorced, like, I rarely even saw the man, but I was still like, it was still in the back of my mind that I was like, would it be something that he would like be ashamed of, even if it wasn't a bad thing? Yeah. And I think it's like, sometimes I have to tell myself like, I'm not even doing anything bad. Yeah. It's something that I'm truly going to enjoy or have fun with. But I'm letting like past situations just kind of control me. Yeah. And I think it's still something that I'm battling with, where I feel like I'm very vocal now where it comes to what I want to do, but I can't say that I'm fully like, you know, have let go of it.
Yeah. I think that now I'm very vocal, but like growing up I wasn't, because I wasn't really allowed to, but now I'm very vocal. I'm very quick to say, no, this isn't working for me, or no, the way that you're talking to me right now, we can't keep having a conversation if you are crossing that boundary. My boundaries now are so strong. Like I am like, cut. Where's the scissors? We're cutting. Like my boundaries with people and how I allow people to interact with me now is completely different than when I was younger.
Where would you say that, like, would you say that you have the same friend groups that you kind of had whenever? No, everything's been different. Well, she's cut all of y'all.
No. It's the reason. No, it's like I would say yes because I've grown. And it's not like any bad blood or anything like that. I feel like I've really truly just outgrown friends. Okay. And I think that even friends that I still talk to, is still like probably we're not as close because I can just see them going down a different path and I'm going this way, and that's okay. Yeah. That's normal. I don't have any friends that I've like fallen out with where we don't talk because we've had like bad conversations or bad things. It's genuinely been a gradual me seeing that, okay, we're growing differently. And I got to make room. Yeah. 2 big trees, we can't grow next to each other. I have to be somewhere else to be able to spread myself. Flourish. Yeah.
I was going to ask, or at least the people that were around you then, or that you still think that they were around before and then now, did they have was it like hold on now, like whenever you started setting boundaries, because you weren't like that always? Yeah. Was it a surprise to them?
Yeah, I think that's why they were like, oh, okay, I see where she's going. Like I see it, I'm gonna back up and keep her over there. And it's like, yeah, that's just that's just where I'm at. And I'm okay with that, and not feeling guilty about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think like a lot of people do feel guilty about, oh, like, you know, I don't, what if they think that I'm a bad person because I stopped talking to them? No, like, yeah, you have to put yourself first. You have to realize where you're going, what you want to do, so that you can keep flourishing.
Yeah, and I feel like also what people forget is as long as you know that you're not doing anything wrong and that your intentions are pure, it's like you can't control what other people are gonna think. They can think that you're the worst person alive, and it's like, what do they say? There's always two sides to the story.
There is, and also you just got to know that certain people are in your life for certain reasons, and certain people are there for a long time. These people are going to be your core people. Then some people are there to teach you a lesson. Yeah. You know? And it doesn't have to necessarily be you learning the lesson, but you can see the lesson that they're learning from, you know, and interpret into your life. So, yeah, I don't feel guilty about it. I'm okay with my boundaries.
Period. Okay. We'll move on to the second one.
That was a good question.
It was a good answer too. Okay. As a woman, how do you define your own identity in a world that often tries to impose labels on you?
Yes. Finding my own identity. I think that honestly, I'm just really getting there. I'm 31. So I think that I'm truly just now realizing who I am as a woman and what power I hold as a woman. I think that you have to be grounded. And I hate to say, like, they sound like old people, but you got to put down that phone. You have to get off of the gram where people are only celebrating their wins, you know, and know that that's not real life. I mean, you got 21-year-olds out here buying Benzes and, you know, mansions, and that's great. That's amazing for them. But comparison is truly the thief of joy. Yeah. So really knowing who you are as a woman, what value you hold as a woman, will make sure that you are putting yourself out there as yourself and you're not being a carbon copy of what you think a woman is supposed to be. You truly are operating within self, knowing yourself and making sure that you are not comparing yourself to anybody, because we all didn't get the same start line. Yeah. You know, I probably started at 10 and she started at 50, you know, and that's okay. And also being able to cheer those women on, like, hey, that's amazing for you. You go, sis. But know that you are a woman who has your own value. You know, you don't have to compare your value to anybody else. Yeah. And I think I want to say it was early on that I had made kind of like an episode on this because I had seen it a lot on like social media. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if it was you, but on TikTok, we had I think, you know how I told you who reposted it? I'm not stalking you, I promise. Oh, yeah? It was on there. But I think it was like some girl, she was talking about, like, I can't remember exactly what she was talking about, but it was like that we're allowing her... Rewind. Her whole conversation was about some girl. She had seen a post about some girl with the wedding ring. And she was saying how, like I guess that influencer was saying that she has to switch her wedding ring style because somebody else had it, right? Yeah. And she was basically saying, like, y'all need to stop. Like, just because someone has something, y'all are really letting them rob you from, like, what you want, because, God forbid, somebody has the same thing as you, you know? And I thought that was very interesting because I think women do it a little bit more than men. True. We see... It's harder for you to have more like a girl's girl than like... I feel like men can fight and the next day they're playing basketball. And I feel... Naturally, I just feel like women just kind of hold a little more resentment. But when I saw that video, I was like, no, I totally agree, because I feel like nowadays... we feel some type of way if she's younger and she's doing something else, it's like, well, why can't I be in that? Yeah. It's like, well, maybe because of that. Yeah. Like, look at it as a win for her and good, but maybe that's not what you want to do. Yeah. That's not your purpose in life. And I think that stems from society. Yeah. Always trying to put women against each other, always comparing women to each other, like, oh, she has a better body, or she has prettier eyes, or she has longer hair. And it's like, who cares? Yeah. You know? And honestly, it's like, it is truly, because like, you could be happy that you just bought your Kia. You know, you bought your 2020 Kia, and then you see somebody else who's your same age, and you're like, oh my gosh, she's bought a 2025 BMW. Like, comparison really is a thief of joy. And also having originality. It's okay to be original. Yeah. It's okay to be you. It's nothing, that's really your biggest your biggest secret weapon that you have is you, because nobody else can be you like you. And it's okay if somebody else does have the same thing as you. Okay, guess what?
So be it.
So be it. Like, okay, what does that mean to me?
Yeah, and I feel like even now on TikTok, most of these people, all the things you see are the same things, and they're getting the same likes, the same attractions. It looks like it's their success.
It does.
But sometimes I think we fall short in thinking that we forget what we even like or what we're inspired, because we start seeing it a lot.
We're so influenced. Mm-hmm. We're so influenced by the influencers.
No, right?
truly, they try to tell you what to like, what you should be doing, what you should be eating, what you should be putting on your skin.
Yeah,
and it's like truly, it's really just about you, y'all. I mean, you have to really know who you are and make sure that you're shining originally all the time.
And I feel like even just as a woman, I mean, I know sometimes men get tired of hearing like, oh, as a woman, but like that's the only thing we can speak. That's the only thing we can speak on, because I mean, we're women.
Yeah,
but I feel like it is a little bit more difficult to make it through like certain things because of like society.
Yeah,
but I think that what other women forget is that we hold a lot of power, and I think it's true. Whenever you know your values, you know your standards, and you know your boundaries, you can really aim high for a lot of things that you want to do, versus when you have nothing to really go based on. You know what I mean? So I like that. I like that answer. Before we kind of get close to the ending, I know I have to ask her the question. If I know, like, we talked a little bit about just like womanhood, who you are, and who you are now, and like the boundaries and everything that you set. If you could have a moment to talk to your younger self, what would you tell her?
Ooh, if I could talk to little Janesia, I would tell her, don't take everything so seriously. Let loose a little bit. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fall. It's not in the fall, it's in the get up, you know? Dang. Have a voice.
Yeah.
It's okay to speak up. And it's okay if your voice rubs somebody the wrong way, if it's your truth. You know? If it's your truth and you know that you're operating with a pure heart, it's okay to share your voice.
Maybe I kind of feel like you're talking to me.
No, that's truly me. Like I would tell, and that's who I am now. But I would definitely tell my younger self, like, speak up for yourself. Like, say what you have to say. And it doesn't matter if people are offended. If you truly are not trying to offend anybody, and you're operating with a pure heart, and you're really just speaking your voice, that's just my truth, and I'm gonna stand on it. Stand on business, little girl. Because truly, that was not me. That was not me. I was a person that kept everything inside. Even if stuff bothered me, I wouldn't voice it. Just out of things of like, dang, I don't want to sound like a, I don't want to come off as like, but this is truly how I feel. Yeah.
That's a good answer. Thank you so much for being a part of this season. I know that we have, like I said, we've known each other for 3 years, but this is probably the longest we've like talked to one another. But there's like nothing bad. We just don't see, we don't see each other often either.
Yeah.
So
we should change that. I mean, now we live far. We live far.
It's okay. We'll make the drive. But no, thank you so much for being a part of the season. It truly means a lot. And I think, if anything, I'm glad I got to know you a little bit better. And you're doing great. So I just want to let you know that.
You too. I love this setup. This is amazing. I don't know if I said it at the beginning, but like, thank you for bringing me on here. Like, this is truly amazing. This is inspiring, truly, to get into my creative side, because seeing that you be creative, and this is really good. I'm proud of both of y'all. Y'all are doing great.
Thank you.
I would love to be on season 3.
Period. Comment on there. Next time, you guys will probably see a building by Janesia, the architect. No, but I'm so glad that we were able to do this episode. And if you guys take anything from this episode, of course, is to use your voice. And I know that sometimes it can get a little scary because there's thousands and millions and billions of people out there that could, judge, but you just don't know the outcome that you'll have from that. Yeah. So don't be scared to just, speak your truth, because it is your story to tell. But thank you so much, Janesia, for being a part of this season. And with that being said, I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.